All right, in this episode, we're going to talk about the wildest division in football, the NFC West. 4 teams, 4 totally different directions. You got the Rams loading up for one last Super Bowl sprint with McVay and Stafford. Then you have the Niners, who are trying to get healthy and retool after one of the worst injury-plagued seasons in recent memory. The Cardinals, who are way ahead of schedule and adding star power fast. And then you finish off with the Seahawks, who are ripping the roster apart and starting over with a new vision. In other words, this division is interesting, and that honestly makes it kind of beautiful. So here's the deal. I'm going to break down each team, diving into the offseason moves, looking at the roster, and giving you my record predictions. So let's get into it. Starting in at the top, we have the Los Angeles Rams, which I have going 11-6. We have to start with the defending champs. The Rams went 10-7 last year, won the NFC West, and now they've doubled down. Look, this team isn't rebuilding, they're reloading. And sure, they let go of Cooper Kupp, but don't get it twisted. They replaced him with Davante Adams. That's a different kind of weapon. You're losing the yak, but you're getting more isolation. And Sean McVay said it himself. Adams is like having a second quarterback on the field with how he sees the game. That matters when you've got Matthew Stafford, who's still spinning it like a top 10 guy when healthy. Last season, Stafford threw for over 4,000 yards despite missing multiple games. And when he's upright, this offense is just surgical. Not only that, they added in Braden Fisk and Jared Verse in the draft last year, both whom were nasty in the trenches as rookies. You pair them with Kobe Turner and Byron Young, and now you're looking at a front four that can get after the quarterback without blitzing. That's critical in a division that's stacked with mobile quarterbacks like Kyler and Purdy. They also added Poona Ford this offseason, which adds run-stopping beef, shoring up a run defense that ranked bottom 3rd in the EPA last season. The big issue, though, with this team, cornerback depth. Behind Ahkello Witherspoon and Darius Williams, it gets really sketchy. Injuries here could turn this unit from being serviceable to being exposed like super quick. And let's not forget, Stafford is 37, and he's had back flare-ups every offseason since 2022. His health is this team's make-or-break variable. Still, though, we have McVay calling the plays and Stafford slinging it to Adams, Tyler Higbee, and Puka Nacua. This team can hang 30 on anyone. They've got continuity, the leadership, and enough firepower to outscore all of their flaws. Bottom line, this team is built to win now, and they're going to probably end at 11-6 and definitely be the division leaders again. Now, following after them, we have the San Francisco 49ers that aren't that far behind. Actually, a one-game difference here. I predict them going 10-7. The 49ers went from the NFC contenders to bottom feeders in 1 year. And you're going to say, why? Well, it was the injuries. They led the league in adjusted games lost with more than 140 games missed by starters. That's freaking absurd. But here's the thing. Injury luck tends to bounce back like the following year. And this year, the Niners are probably due. Now, Brock Purdy, the man of the offseason, is back, and he got paid massive, a 5-year extension worth $265 million. That's elite quarterback money, and he's earned it. In 2023, he led the NFL in passer rating and was top 10 in EPA per play. His chemistry with Brandon Ayuk is undeniable. Last year, they added rookie Pearsall into the mix before trading Deebo Samuel to free up cap space. Ricky Pearsall, God, why can't I say his name? Ricky Pearsall is a smooth operator, excuse me on that one, and Juwan Jennings remains one of the best blocking running wide receivers in the league. The problem is with Juwan Jennings is they'll need to figure out his situation quickly because he currently requested a trade and he wants more money, and the team has yet to meet his contract demands. But good news, Christian McCaffrey's back, fully healthy, and he looks explosive in camp. And let's not forget, this guy accounted for nearly 2,000 yards from scrimmage the last time he played a full season. If he's rolling, this offense is lethal as hell. And defensively, they brought back Robert Saleh at DC, and this is a huge culture reset because the personnel turnover is real. They lost Greenlaw, they lost Hufanga, and they lost Javarius Ward. They're all gone. That leadership and experience is wiped out. Now, Mikael Williams, their first-round rookie, has superstar traits, but again, he's a rookie and he's raw. The hope is that Nick Bosa can stay healthy and that he returns to the Defensive Player of the Year form. And with Fred Warner locking down the middle, the best linebacker in football, they've still got enough of a foundation to hopefully stop some teams. The Niners also, though, benefited from one of the easiest schedules in the NFL by opponent DVOA, and that's huge. They don't face a top 10 defense until week 10 and have multiple matchups against bottom 10 offenses. This is the kind of setup where even a banged-up team can sneak into the playoffs. So the bottom line here with the 49ers is that they're not as dominant as what they were 2 years ago, but they're still dangerous, and I see them going 10-7 and having a wild card birth. If you made it this far into the video, you the real MVP, for real. I appreciate you. And if you're a diehard NFL junkie like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I drop NFL content almost daily. I'm talking breakdowns, rants, hot takes, all of that. And if you're a Bears fan like me, well, first off, I am very, very, very sorry because we have been through it. But if you want to suffer together in style, then check out my Bears podcast with my guy Dave. It's called the BFR Podcast, which is short for Bears Film Room. And it is the #1 show for the fans, by the fans, where we have weekly episodes, live shows, special guests, and most importantly, we don't sugarcoat a thing. And if you want to keep up with me, get a little laugh, or even see me smile during Bears games, then make sure to follow me on IG, TikTok, and Twitter at itsfickybaby, which is ITSFICKYBABY. All right, enough of the plug, I get it. Let's get back to the episode. Now, following up after them, I have the Arizona Cardinals coming into third place with a record of 9-8, only one game behind the 49ers. Look, this team is scary, not because they're already elite, but because they're ascending and fast. They went from 8-9 last year and shocked people with how competitive they were in a so-called rebuild year. Kyler Murray is now 2 years removed from the ACL tear, and he's moving like his old self again. The Cardinals finally got him a legit wide receiver one in Marvin Harrison Jr., a guy who I'd say his ceiling could be top 15 at his position. His route precision, his ball tracking is elite, and I expect Kyler to take more downfield shots than ever before. You still have James Conner in the backfield who pounds the rock, and you have rookie Trey Benson who brings breakaway speed that they didn't have last year. That duo can grind out drives and create explosive plays in Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator, wide zone scheme, which ranked 9th in rushing DVOA last season. And on defense, this leap was incredible. They went from dead last in 2023 to 14th in DVOA last year. Jonathan Gannon has instilled discipline and structure. And now with additions like Calais Campbell and Dalvin Thompson, this front has the size and leadership. And rookie Nolan, man, their first-round pick, if he can click, this might be a legit top 12 unit. And also, don't forget, I think they got a steal with Will Johnson as well. The biggest concerns, though, is that they were 3-5 in one-score games, and they struggled in late-game execution. And young teams usually do this. And with the pass rush, still lacks like that one guy who can win one-on-ones consistently. That limits them against top quarterbacks. But this team plays fast, it plays aggressive and fearless. And I feel like they're going to sneak by and steal a few wins they shouldn't have, or wins that people didn't see. People didn't have them marked as a W on their schedule. So, the bottom line, they'll be a problem all year, giving people headaches. They'll win probably 8 games, and I'm having them just sneak by and win 9, so going over 500, which is an improvement from the year before. And I see them as like a playoff fringe team. Now, finishing this list at number 4, we have the Seattle Seahawks. I predict them being the bottom of this division at 6-11. There's a new era in Seattle right now, and it's not necessarily a good one. The offseason was a fire sale. They moved up from Geno Smith, they traded DK Metcalf, and they released Tyler Lockett. That's 44% of the year's targets just gone. And they didn't exactly reload. They got Sam Darnold as the new quarterback one, and while he's looked serviceable in Minnesota, he's never had a full season above league average in any advanced metric. And the Seahawks are hoping Clint Kubiak's Shanahan-style offense can simplify those reads and revive Darnold's career. Revive's probably not the right word because he had a great year last year, but we got to see consistency from that. I will say they did bring in Cooper Kupp, but he's not the same guy, the Cooper Kupp of, the Triple Crown winner. Kupp has missed 13 games over his last 2 seasons, and he turns 32 this year. And JSN is stepping into a wide receiver one role, and he had a good year last year. Like, I'm going to give him credit, but we haven't seen him dominate as that wide receiver one against those top corners yet. And defensively, though, Mike McDonald, the head coach, is a bright spot because they finished 10th in DVOA last year, and they returned to key pieces like Devon Witherspoon, Leonard Williams, Boye Mafe, but that unit's still going to ask to carry a heavy load if this offense can't sustain drives. And let's be honest, it probably won't. Like, I'm betting against it. And normally what happens is that defense is going to wear it down by the end of the season. Also, Seattle has the longest travel schedule in the entire league, which adds fatigue and recovery issues to an already thin roster. So you add it all up, and it smells like a rebuilding year. Bottom line, they got too many losses, not enough answers. 6-11. Let's reset the season. Now let's kind of take a high-level view of this division. You have the Rams, who this is their division to lose. They got the best wide receiver QB coach duo in the NFC West, an elite wide receiver in Adams, and a monstrous pass rush, and they've got the highest ceiling. Then you got the San Fran, who has the highest path to 10 wins thanks to the schedule softness and a fully healthy offense, but the defensive attrition keeps them at half step behind. Purdy and CMC will keep them competitive, but Saleh's defense needs a few weeks to settle, in my opinion. And then at third, you get the Cardinals, who are the wild card. Not literally a wild card team yet, but they're knocking on the door. If their young guys develop fast and Kyler stays healthy, they could sneak into the postseason. And then you have Seattle. They're looking on to 2026. Like, this season is basically a rebuild. They've got cap space, future picks, and a stopgap quarterback. The plan is long-term. 2025 is really just the teardown. So, again, this is what I have. Rams 11-6, 49ers 10-7, Cardinals 9-8, and the Seahawks at 6-11. Now, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more daily NFL videos. And remember, stay sharp, stay dangerous, and I'm out. Peace.